Hello and welcome back. Um, Today I am introducing another new Neurotree algorithm called the Tree of Triumph. This is one that I've been designing in my head since ever since I learned Neurographica, and in particular a group of algorithm known as removing inner limitations, where you actually do catharsis to purge your negative emotions. And of course, I was also inspired by my instructor, Margarita, with her dissolving the unwanted algorithm that I introduced in the previous video. And I was thinking like, it would be interesting if I could create like a Neurotree algorithm, an algorithm for dissolving based on the Neurotree. And it was also because I was attending the Neurotree class, and it just hit me that yeah, maybe I can do that because I like the tree algorithm because it's a growth algorithm, and this tree of triumph is an algorithm for triumph over adversity. It's like I remember when I was doing my psychology classes and my counseling classes, and I was doing research on PTSD, trauma, and I came across art therapy as a form of treatment for PTSD and trauma. So the stuff I was reading about was about war trauma, but in any case, um, all those things combine, and I got the idea that it would be cool if I can come up with and design an algorithm for um, you know growth from adversity. It's like things when things happen, adversity happen. It allows you the opportunity to grow from it. So some people get trapped in it, some people get over it and grow from it and become stronger in the end. And that to me kind of fits the tree, the a tree, what's that word? Any case, I mean it's growth, like a tree. I can't think of that word right now. I know that that word starts with an M, but I can't think of it right now. Maybe later I'll come up with it. Metaphor, yes, metaphor. A tree is a metaphor for growth, and the Neurotree is an abstract of a tree, and it is working off of the metaphor of growth. So whenever we grow from adversity, when we experience or encounter adversity, we get over it, we get through it, and we grow from it, and we become stronger in the end. It's kind of like, if you play video games like leveling up. So in any case, enough bantering, and I will continue to introduce this algorithm. So before I actually get into how to do the algorithm, I have some basic things that I wanted to go through, and they're pretty important points that everyone should take note of if you're doing any Neurographica algorithm. I mentioned this quite a few once before in my wish tree algorithm, so I'm gonna repeat it again because I think it's quite important, especially in this one because you are kind of trying to dissolve your adversity in this algorithm and then growing from it. Hey, so first off, Think of the issue, the topic, or the situation that you want to dissolve. The adversity that you are experiencing or you have experienced it in your past. I would say that I wouldn't advise anyone trying this on PTSD or phobia or any form of diagnosed serious psychological uh, dysfunction or disorder in a manner of speaking. Um, it's just not advisable. But if you want to try it, I can't stop you from doing it either. So, just be aware. You're responsible for your own action. I warn. I'm issuing no warning now that you shouldn't. It's not a replacement for therapy. Okay, even though some therapists might use it, but this is not at least when therapists are using it, you have the therapist sitting right in front of you. That's the main thing. Okay, and they know how to make use of it to fish out more information to work with you to get you to a better state. In this case, if you're doing it alone, I wouldn't advise it. Like I said, I can't stop you either. So you're responsible for your own actions. Okay, the choice is yours, whether you want to do it despite my warning or not do it. Please carry on. In any case, yes, think of the situation, the topic, or the issue at hand, and try and bring it down to no more than 4 words. So let's say, for example, if you had a fight with your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, your best friend, and you are really frustrated over the whole issue. So how would you coin this? I would say there are 2 things that you can think about is what is it that bothers you most in the whole situation. That would be one of the questions you should be asking yourself, whether it's the fight or it's the feeling from the fight. So if it's the feeling from the fight, then try and make it into 4 words. What's the feeling that you feel? Frustration, anger, sad, Or if it's the situation, then you could just say, fight with my sister, fight with my friend, fight with my mother, fight with my father, that. Okay, that's just an example. So no more than 4 words. The best thing is 1 word. That would be the best thing that you can do. If you can summarize your whole situation into that 1 word that bothers you most, that is the best thing you can do for this algorithm. Okay, 1 word is the best. Alright? And then later on I'll show you how to use that 1 word of the 4 words that you have chosen to use it in this algorithm. Okay? Second thing, take notes on your thoughts as you're working on the algorithm. When you're working through your artwork in this algorithm, when you're drawing, when you're coloring, you should be taking notes or take note on whatever you're thinking, whatever that comes up to your mind. You can have a little notebook, notepad, or even a recording device on your side, and just say it out loud as you're drawing or coloring, and that would form what we call your neurotrack. Okay, and that would help you to come up with your own story later of the whole drawing. It's pretty important because it is part of digging up old dirt, so to say. You want to, digging up old dirt about everything that's connected to this issue, and maybe you can find, oh, finally I realize, why am I so upset about this whole situation? You never know. Okay? And another very important thing throughout the whole process, remember to breathe deeply. Okay? Remember to breathe. It's part of being mindful of what you're doing. Okay? Everything, like, all the thoughts that are going on, everything, keep telling yourself, breathe. All right? And the last thing, and kind of important too, remember I asked you to take notes about your thoughts. Well, this is where it comes in. After you're done with your artwork, what do you think is the story that it's trying to tell you? Okay? This is trying to make sense of your own artwork. And after that, you can write it, at the back of your artwork. Write it down, and if it's not enough, then clip a few more pieces of paper if you really have to write an essay on it. Okay? And that would help you remember what did you do, what did this whole thing meant, and what you did on this. All right? All right, those are the important points that I have to tell you. So now I am going to teach you how to do this algorithm in brief before we actually get down to the drawing. Okay? So I'm gonna go through this in brief, very briefly, how to do it. Okay, so first thing first, for this algorithm, I'm using recycled paper as usual. I don't want to waste clean paper on this yet because I have quite a lot of recycled paper. Alright, first thing first, on your art paper, it doesn't have to be A4 size. You can go bigger if you want, A3, A2, A0, B4. B4 is bigger than this. So it's your choice, and then remember, during the wish tree tutorial, I also mentioned that if A4 is not big enough, you can actually stack more pieces of paper on, like this, wherever, to make it bigger so you can complete your artwork. Okay, in any case, let's start. So I have an A4 size sheet of paper here. So what you need to do is find the center of the paper. With a ruler. I assume you know how to do it. Diagonal, I'll show you how to do it again during the drawing demo, but I'm just going to speak very swift, short, briefly, so I'm not going to do it. So find the middle of the paper. Say example, if here is the middle. Okay. Oh, let me get something to signify, represent having a pencil. Yes, you need a pencil for this tutorial. Okay, you do need a pencil and a pen. So I want you to think of this pen as a pencil for now, because if I do in pencil, you can't see it. So you want to first find the center. After that, draw a circle with your pencil, not dotted circle. Okay, not too big, not too small, because you're going to draw another circle over it. So something about this size. Okay? Doesn't have to be perfectly in the center. So just so you know. And then after that, I suggest you write your word or your forwards in a vertical format like this. So because this tree is a tree, so we're doing vertical format, so we will need to turn your paper around and write the thing. So for this case, in my demo, I'm going to do COVID. So down here, maybe in my drawing demo, I'm using the COVID situation. But here, let's say fight with sister. Okay, the reason I'm writing it in vertical format like that is because when you're dissolving it, it's quite easy to dissolve it because your lines are going this way. One line across, it's gone. You'll see in a minute. Okay, now next, draw your resources. Draw on the resources that would help you overcome this situation. So as usual, you draw your resources, big, small, whatever, all the resources that can help you overcome this situation. I'm just kind of doodling here. So I'm not thinking about size or anything. Label them if you want. You can have your spiritual resource, you can have your family, you can have your friends, you can have your dog, your pet, your hamster, whatever. Okay, anything that you can draw on to give you strength to dissolve this situation. Even you can even say, oh, your stuffed toy or your boo-boo or your bed or your home or whatever, okay? In any case, so here we go. Once you have your resources, you draw lines from the bottom up to your resources to the top. It has to be like a shape of a tree, so to make things easier later, try to do it that way. Otherwise, you're gonna have a heck of a time trying to adjust. Okay, now your lines must go through all the circles, so you have to have lines through every single circle. It doesn't have to go through every single one with one line. It can be multiple lines, but it has to go through all your resource circles that you've drawn. Okay, so in this case I can do this. See, fight's gone. Okay, sister's gone. Width is gone. And then after this, you can just attenuate, okay? Like, you complete drawing. And if it's not completely, which in this case isn't, it's okay because we're drawing more lines. So next, you draw a circle to represent yourself around here that is bigger than the dotted circle that you've drawn. Okay? And then you write your name. There. And then now you complete the tree. Okay? And when I mean complete tree, I mean like you have to draw the fruits. When this is all over, what kind of situation do you hope to see? Like, the fruits of the outcome. Okay, so draw. Remember balance again. You have one big circle. You have, doesn't have to be here. It could be somewhere else. Okay, and then you look at, like, okay, example. This tree doesn't look like it has a very strong trunk. So maybe this side. So I'll just. That looks good enough. Okay, and then after that, you can have multiple size markers, which I do in my drawing demo. Now I don't have, I just have this one size. So continue drawing lines like to make it look like a tree, and trying to dissolve all this. I promise you, after you've drawn all the lines in and after you're colored in all this circle, you won't see this anymore. You will see in my drawing demo, especially if you're doing it in pencil even. This is pen, so you can still see it, okay? Okay? So, and make sure you have lines through all your resources and your fruits and yourself here. Okay, and you can even have unknown resources that you don't know the name of. It's okay. And also with fruits, you can have unnamed fruits. Okay, mysterious fruits, unexpected fruits out of nowhere after this situation over, which always happens. You surprise yourself, with things that you can do that you don't think you would have done before. All right. So with any situation, any topic, issue, or situation that you want to do, it's the same way, like this. And then after you're done, you will have to do your fixation, your integration, and your few lines, which I've shown in the wish tree tutorial. So if you haven't seen that yet, please go over it. Other than that, I think we're pretty much done with this short, brief introduction on how to use this algorithm, and let's get drawing. Okay, so we're gonna start to draw this algorithm today. What we need is marker and pencils as usual. Let me see which is the right marker. Yeah. Okay, so, and maybe an eraser. I need an eraser. Alright, so we have to find the center of the paper because it's going to be the center of this universe, which is going to be the issue at hand, and also because you as the person who's drawing this, or in this case me, is the center of the universe, or center of this universe. So okay, and we are gonna start off with drawing a circle again, like the previous tutorial. A dotted circle with a pencil. It is also the thing that we're gonna dissolve, so you don't want it too big. Okay, so again, maybe around this size, I would guess. Yeah, something around this size, just an example. Okay, around the center of your paper. Doesn't have to be exact. Okay, let me bring this a bit up so you can see. Something like that. Alright, I'm going to erase the X a bit more, so it's not so visible. Now, I'm going to write the thing this way because when I'm dissolving, it's going to be vertical lines, so it's easier to dissolve if you write it down vertically. So for this issue or this topic that I'm going to put down, it's COVID-19 situation. Okay. Um, the when you're thinking of the topic, for this case, it's COVID-19 situation. It's just two words. Um, you should keep it to a maximum of around, I would say, 4 words maximum, because the more words you put down there, the harder it is to dissolve. Or it could be the case that maybe you're having too many issues that you're trying to dissolve all at once. So stop being so greedy and simplify it. You have more than one issue, split it up into more than one drawing. So COVID-19 situation is pretty easy. It's just one. If you have anger issues, like you're angry with your sister or your frustration with the fight you just had, so you just say frustration. That's the main thing that you want to dissolve. Frustration with fight, frustration with mother, frustration with sister, something like that. Simple. Okay? And then write it down. So in this case, I'm going to put COVID-19 situation. Okay. Alright. Now, so we're going to turn it back. Remember the things with drawing a tree. So now, we're going to start this drawing a little bit differently. I'm going to need another piece of paper. Hold on a second. Okay, yeah, I needed another piece of paper because I didn't want to draw on the board. I changed my mind about using these marker. I'm going to use two different markers again for the thick and thin lines. You don't have to if you don't want to. I just choose to do it this way because I think it will look nicer. So, next step. You draw a circle, okay, around the dotted circle. Actually, no, don't do that first. You draw your resources. What are the resources that I can tap on personally, in my perspective, to help me dissolve this situation? So one of the things that I can think of is a spiritual resource, my religion. So I'm gonna put like maybe the Buddha or Guan Yin is going to be a big one. Okay. I need a writing pen. Okay, so what else? family, relatives. Friends. Okay. Anything else I can tap on as a resource? I would say my home. Okay. Also, one more. The internet. Okay, that's it. So now we have our resources. We start dissolving, like, you know, the our previous video for dissolving the unwanted. We dissolve this first. Okay. So you want all your neurographic lines to pass through all the circles you've drawn. Okay. It's okay if it doesn't look like a tree right now, because you are not complete yet. Okay. Now, at this point, you can kind of see that we started to dissolve this. So I know it's not completely dissolved yet. It will be once we add in the thinner lines, which I will be adding in a little bit. So now we want to add in what we want to replace with this dissolving. Okay, actually no, you add in another circle around the dotted line. Just draw in a circle, something that's bigger than what you've drawn. Okay, like this. And then now you can start to make it look more like a tree. Okay, you can add lines in as you go. Now at this point you can add like unknown resource in as well. Like I think I want to add 2 more unknown resources here. So now you want to write this bigger circle would be you, your name. This bigger circle represents you. And what this is saying is you are bigger than the situation that you want to overcome. And it would benefit you if you could emphasize it later during your fixation, graphical fixation. Okay, now I'm gonna make this look more like a tree first, like on top here. Before I continue. Alright, so next is what do you think you will see or you will receive when or you will experience after this situation is totally dissolved? Okay, so let's say the most important thing for me, no more masks. Okay, oops. No more face masks. course, next is global economic recovery. I'm going to draw the circle first and then put in the labels for the fruits later. Okay, global, and then what else? Freedom. I'm going to have a big one because we need to balance what we have here with a big resource. Okay. Health. Okay, maybe write it down first. Okay, this was supposed to be global economic recovery. This was health. I didn't say what this was, so maybe I'll have living in joy. I don't know what this is yet, but I'm being called to draw a few more smaller ones here. Okay, one more here. One more here. Unnamed fruits. Fruits whose name has not revealed itself yet. Alright, you see this fruit here and this fruit here. There are no lines going through them. So later when you're drawing the lines, make sure you want to draw a couple of lines at least going through them. Okay, now I'm going to start with the final lines now, and as I'm doing that, I want to activate these resources here too. I'm not doing rounding yet. Now, activating of resources, you're watching me do it now. I'm also drawing like kind of neurographic lines across the resources. It's kind of like saying that energy is enveloping the resources in a 3D perspective, which means not only you have energy going around, you also have some that's going across. So you cannot do that. You can do that if you want. So I am doing it. Okay. You don't have to do a lot of lines, just, a couple of them. Okay, so now I'm going to draw the finer lines across. Again, I'm going to make sure that some of this would go over all the resources that I've drawn. Okay? So, I don't know if you're noticing anything stirring inside you as you're drawing, because you're supposed to be keeping track of what you're thinking, what you're feeling when you're drawing, and I'm already feeling something stirring inside me. Remember to breathe. Okay, so I don't know if you can see this. The dotted thing that you draw inside the circle has already been dissolved. After you color, it's going to be, you can't really see it anymore. I'm just going to touch up to make this look a bit better. So the reason why you see me adding this here is because I felt that this trunk is a bit weak, so I added a couple more lines in just to make it look like the trunk is quite strong. So from here you can see that you can actually make this circle a little bit bigger if you want to. Okay, but in this case, that didn't happen with me. I'm not going to attenuate it either at this point, so alright, so what I'm going to do now is all the roundings. Okay, so I'm done with rounding, and I'll show you the part where we were trying to dissolve. You can barely see it anymore. Okay, so it's dissolved. Once the color go in, you cannot see any of it anymore. So next step is coloring. I won't go through any coloring rules anymore because by now you all should be familiar with it, and if you're not, please refer to one of the earlier tutorials. The first one on rules of coloring and the second one on coloring in the Neurotree. I mean not the coloring in the Neurotree, but the basics of a Neurotree. So those first two tutorials will teach you how to draw a Neurotree and how to color it and the rules of coloring in Neurographica. Alright, so So I'm done coloring, and you noticed today that I didn't talk anything about the integration and fixation, because I assume that those of you watching already know, and if you don't, if you missed the previous tutorial, the previous three tutorials talk about integration and fixation. Well, not all three of them, but they all build up onto each other. So if you missed that part, just go watch the previous three tutorials, and I did talk about what integration is and what fixation is, especially the wish tree tutorial. So if you have any questions, please feel free to post on the Facebook page to ask. Don't forget about your story for this artwork. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll talk to you in the next video tutorial.